tell you the truth, bro. First and foremost, before we even get into the coffee dates or anything like that, let's address spending money on women anyway, right? Because what y'all don't understand is that she's gonna go for free for the guy that she like, regardless of.
That's a good point, but she gonna go for free for the guy she don't like that the other girls like. She gonna go for free for the guy that fit the narrative of the moment. She's gonna go for free for a lot of different reasons. In some situations, she may even pay to go, believe it or not.
What you think? It's always gonna be guys that's listening women's phone as food. Now I'm gonna address this from the man's perspective, and I'm gonna also address it from the female's perspective. It's always gonna be guys listening to phone is for food. Now, from the female's perspective, one of the reasons why guys offer coffee dates for you, or little simple stuff, like they're not gonna go out of their way and do all of the, you know what I'm saying, all of the picnics and all of that stuff, even if it don't cost money. Because one of the things that women are conflating is that they acting like it's low effort. Guys put in effort for the women that they like, and vice versa. But women are not trying to necessarily check for and make it difficult.
Now this is where I have a problem with that. Where I take you to spend time at, or where you take me to spend time at, does not necessarily constitute effort. What constitutes effort is me blocking aside time to spend with you. Me having the resources to facilitate us spending a time together with activities included. That's the effort. Now, you can't use money to validate effort, so to speak, because someone who has a lot of money could just throw money at you, but is that any effort? So I don't want to conflate the two. You understand what I'm saying here? And to tell somebody that $1,000 dinner at this restaurant took more effort than somebody cooking you a whole meal and setting it up at your favorite place to watch the view of the water or whatever the case may be is more effort. I think option number 2 takes a lot more effort, even though it may be slightly more cost efficient. It's going to take more time. It's going to take more preparation. It's going to take more. So I don't see how the $1,000 dinner at the place around the corner is more effort than me setting you up a full course meal by the river. I don't, whatever.
That they like. Meaning that it don't really matter where you take her. As a matter of fact, a lot of times it's no barrier to entry, and that's why they do it for a real one. They bust it down for a real one. We say it all the time. They're going to.
Now that's where I would have to disagree. Just because they busting it down, and just because he's fitting her up front criteria, doesn't make him a real one. It doesn't. And if he was a real one in most cases, we'd have more better relationships. But we don't, so hey. Typically that's not the real one. Typically the one that was labeled food ended up being the real one in that bitch's corner. But I digress from that.
Bust it down for the dudes that they care for, or the dudes that they really want. As soon as they meet, they already made a decision in their mind of how it is that they're going to treat them, what they're going to accept, and if his to lose, he already got everything. He got everything from her if she feeling him. And that's why it's always necessary to test the vibes, to not care, not focus so much on whether or not she like you. You gotta try to jump over all of these hoops and get to all of this other stuff. All you gotta do is be naturally you. And if you see women that's not really feeling you, or they're making it really difficult for you, and they're making you having to jump through all of these hoops and these barriers in order to be with them, slot them accordingly, know that you dodged the bullet, and keep it moving. It's really not that deep.
Good point.
The less you care, the more you have. Work 100% on yourself, not to impress no hoes,
Facts.
not to impress a woman,
Facts.
but work 100% on yourself in order to get to a bag and become the best version of yourself. All that other stuff that y'all got going on as far as focusing on women and trying to make sure that she like me and it's gonna cost all of this money. I see a bunch of these simp ass niggas online talking about, oh man, if you can't afford this and this and that and so on and so forth. It's not about affordability. The dudes that got money, that's not these simp ass ball players and stuff like that and not scammers. The dudes that got money, they not tripping off of whether or not they can spend money on women. The dudes that got money is just more or less trying to focus on the fact of whether or not the woman is there for the right reasons. And that's why they even okay with downplaying themselves and saying, listen, I don't do this, well, I don't do that. Because if she feeling you, she going anywhere. So it's not even about having money. It's not even about none of that. It's about being able to filter through the ones that's supposed to be with you and the ones that's not. You ain't got to spend no money on no woman in order to...
Once again, Anton makes a great point. You know what I'm saying? He made a few great points, which is why I fucks with the dog Anton. I fucks with him hard. That's all I gotta say, man. I mean, he pretty much did a good job of explaining it, man. The woman that fuck with you gonna fuck with you, and sometimes the women that we be looking at is not the one that we should. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I've come to notice. Whatever you like for a woman to look at like, there is that version of that looking woman out here for you. Period. And out of all the different type of mentalities and personality types, you're going to be able to find one that look how you want her to look, that actually likes you. So what I would say is, man, don't get caught up in the options that's so easily presented to you and trying to make one of them your best choice. That's like picking presidents, you know what I'm saying? Get out here and see what's out here. And coffee dates, lunches, whatever, conversations, all of that shit is good ways to filter out who it is you may be courting. You know what I'm saying? And don't hold back on your attempt to offer to do this and do that. And I don't mean let me pay your phone bill. I mean offering a coffee date, or offering a brunch, or offering to send lunch, just to see. Not just so you can ball out, but just so you can see how she react. You understand? Because let's say she works right next to a Benihana's. And you like, hey baby, I'm about to send you lunch from Benihana's. What would you like from there? Now you know you can send somebody lunch from Benihana's anywhere from between $25, $75. Uber eat it right there. They good, right? And she say, no, but why don't you send me something from Roof Chris that's across the city from her job. And now you looking at $100 or more for that lunch. Maybe not. You may be able to pick some on the menu that's a little bit cheaper, but then the Uber ride gonna be more. And you understand what I'm saying? So if a woman not willing to work with what you offering to this specific cause, then that may be something that you don't look past, because as much as you may want to do everything, you only got a budget for everything. And just because you have enough to cover whatever, that doesn't mean you're not budgeting each individual thing. And you may have a limit on how much you spend on Uber Eats for the day or for the week. Period. No matter who it is. It might be for yourself. You still got to limit that shit. With that being said, when you see a woman trying to encourage you to be comfortable going outside your limits, you got to watch that. Because when you out there on the ledge, she might push you. She might turn her back on you. She might point her finger and laugh at you and talk about you. She might do a lot of things, but it's only so many that's going to pull you back in. And on that note, watch what you spend. And we out of this bitch. Oh, and don't get me started on what I done spent looking out for a bitch. And it ain't always been beneficial.